you don't think any other cryptocurrency qualifies to be in a strategic reserve in the United States other than Bitcoin because of its decentralization and it has no issuer?
I think there's only one universally acknowledged digital commodity in the world.
Okay.
Right? There's only one.
I don't think any cryptocurrency would really qualify.
One. No, one does. Bitcoin qualifies.
Well, any other one.
BitcoinZella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to BitcoinZella today and enjoy the new edge. Michael Saylor explains the vision behind the $100 trillion crypto strategy, reveals Satoshi's genius in creating money, and outlines Bitcoin Reserve for national security. Join us to discover more.
Bitcoin appeals to the people that want immortal capital. And you can see if you lay out this taxonomy, there's 4 quadrants. You need them all. You need short-term money in order to make payments. You need tokens to create capital. You need to tokenize securities because otherwise, how do you innovate or create more efficiency in the world capital markets? And then you need a commodity to store and protect your capital. And once you see all 4 of them, you realize they should all be designated as new asset classes. The rule ought to be the issuers have an obligation to not lie, cheat, and steal. They're responsible for the damage they do. The exchanges should have the ability to trade these things at the speed of light with anybody or anything, any machine. And then they should have obligations. Don't lie, cheat, and steal. Don't assume a conflict of interest. And then the holders ought to have a right to self-custody. You ought to be able to own your assets, custody your assets, and transfer your assets freely. So I think that what we all agree with is there ought to be no AML, KYC frictions on asset transfer because that destroys the utility of all these digital assets. And to the extent that you want to enforce consumer protections or investor protections, you should put the obligations on the issuers. And that way the economy starts to grow very, very rapidly.
Bitcoin is showing signs of a breakout rally as traders eye a potential move to $95,000, even though it recently dipped to $88,500. Market optimism has spiked with many predicting a surge above $100,000, fueled by strong institutional support and growing adoption of Bitcoin products. However, some experts warn that a short-term correction to around $85,000 could occur before the bull run gathers full momentum. Santiment has noted that rising trader greed is evident on social media, where price targets range from $100,000 to an optimistic $159,000. Such exuberance may signal that the market is overextended, prompting caution. Meanwhile, Bitcoin miners are holding their positions, boosting reserves significantly. In addition, robust inflows into U.S. Bitcoin ETF, led by BlackRock, add fuel to the bullish sentiment. Technical analysis even hints at a double-top reversal, making the near-term outlook both exciting and uncertain. Investors stay hopeful as market dynamics steadily shift.
Well, that's been the debate for a decade, right? And it's been a massive debate and a massive source of confusion, which is, are there other digital commodities? And the position of the previous administration, Christine, was you're either a commodity, in which case you can trade on a crypto exchange legitimately, or you're a security, in which case it's illegal, we're going to sue you, shut you down, or jail you. You see, so we had a false dichotomy, and in that world where you're either going to die, the best case is economic death, and you're blocked from the banking system, By the way, everybody's blocked in the banking system. I think the last 2 weeks have been extraordinary for Bitcoin and for the strategic Bitcoin reserve because momentum is really building. 2 weeks ago, there were three priorities, or there were three things talked about in the digital assets universe. A stablecoin act, right? The Genius bill, and a bill to create stablecoins and issue them in the U.S. And that really addresses the digital currency asset class. And then there's discussion of a market structure bill, and that's to create an entire digital assets framework, presumably to issue something akin to digital tokens or tokenized securities, digital securities. And then there is the strategic Bitcoin bill, or the Bitcoin Act. That was the third priority. And it was a question mark of where that was in D.C. There was support, but people were wondering. What happened in the past 2 weeks is the strategic Bitcoin reserve got elevated to a primary, if not the primary priority, with the executive order. So the president created it. And I think there are some very important things that happened. On Thursday night, about a week ago, the president issued the executive order creating the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And in the executive order designated just Bitcoin to go in the reserve, said we should never, ever sell it. Don't sell the Bitcoin. And then directed the Secretary of Commerce and Treasury to look for budget-neutral ways to acquire more Bitcoin.
Legendary angel investor Jason Calacanis has taken a humorous swipe at GameStop's recent Bitcoin pivot, showing his disapproval in a memorable way. The video game retailer, once at the center of meme coin mania, announced it was adopting Bitcoin as a reserve asset, an unexpected move that boosted its stock in after-hours trading. Despite this short-lived rally, Bitcoin's price remained largely unaffected by the announcement. Calacanis, known for his blunt commentary, remarked, "If you're a public company that can't figure out a business model, buy Bitcoin." His witty quip not only underscored his skepticism, but also poked fun at the idea that desperate measures might be the answer. He even joked that the advice might be useful if Michael Saylor ever decided to invest $1 trillion in Bitcoin. Such commentary highlights the divide between those who see corporate Bitcoin adoption as a positive step and those who view it as a sign of fundamental business challenges. While some community members have welcomed GameStop's move as progress for mainstream crypto acceptance, former analyst James Check remains unimpressed, recalling predictions that so-called zombie companies would signal market peaks by mimicking Saylor-like strategies. With GameStop's substantial cash reserves and impressive market cap, the company's pivot remains a topic of lively debate among investors and industry experts alike. Critics argue that GameStop's move could be a clever marketing ploy rather than a genuine shift in corporate strategy. Regardless, the bold step sparks conversations about the future of digital assets and the role traditional companies may play in shaping crypto's evolving landscape with clear potential. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to BitcoinZella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.